Welcome, fellow nerds, to this episode of Nerd Shit, hosted by Lord Brad and Rioric, where we discuss all things nerd. Whether it's anime, movies, comic books, video games, Magic the Gathering, or Dungeons & Dragons. If it's nerd, we talk about it. So pull up your favorite chair, pour a glass of mead, and get ready to come and discuss everything nerd shit.
All right, people. Welcome to the last episode of 2022's edition of Nerd Shit. So with you, as usual, you've got Lord Brad. Say hello, Lord Brad.
Yo.
And me, Rioric. So this time of year is pretty hectic, pretty crazy for us. Me doing consulting, everybody's trying to wrap up projects before the holidays, year-end type stuff. Lord Brad working for the post office. Everybody's ordering shit, so there's packages galore, everybody's busy. So it's going to be difficult for us to record anymore this season. And it's probably going to be February before you start seeing new episodes, just because we've got the holiday season where everybody's trying to get stuff in for the holidays, and then the first couple of weeks of January is return season where everybody's sending all the crap you bought back.
That includes Christmas trees. Whoever buys Christmas trees for the year and then returns it afterwards, I hate you.
That sounds like an asshole move.
It's very often.
Wow.
It sucks.
Yeah. So shit like that keeps him super busy. So it's probably going to be late January before we get to start recording, which means it may be early February before anything actually drops. But stay with us. We want to look at trying some new formats and some new things with Season 2 in 2023. So stay tuned, check us out. Don't give up on us just yet. But that's just kind of the housekeeping stuff for this episode, just to kind of give you guys a heads up. And we know we were a little late between the last episode and this episode. That's why, moving forward, that you know what to expect now.
We'll probably end the next season before winter start, or before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Season 2, I think we'll probably have to wrap up around Thanksgiving, just because your schedule gets so damn chaotic, and we did not think that far ahead.
No, well, I was supposed to get days off, and they decided no to me, but everyone else got one.
Well, but even still, it's just nobody's going to get a lot of time off this time of year anyway. Everybody's going to be working a lot.
You'd think that.
I know your uncle put in a lot of hours last year.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. That's when we were super shorthanded.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're not as shorthanded, but, they're letting the other people, the new people, have days off because they have over 60 hours. One of them had 61 hours, and I had 68.
So there's some recent agreements to the contract and stuff that I think you're going to appreciate if you don't know about it. I'm not going to drag this into a postal union contract discussion, but hit me up afterward.
Okay.
I'll remind you.
Thank you.
But anyway, post office politics aside, let's talk Pokemon.
Okay, yeah, because that's what we said we were going to talk about.
Yeah, well, because they had Pokemon Scarlet and Violet drop late November?
Mid-November.
Mid-November?
Yeah.
Okay. And me, you, Rowdy, Dylan, Jordan, we all had several copies.
Yes.
So let me start with the obvious. Which one did you play?
I played Scarlet.
Okay, I also played Scarlet. Did you beat all the gyms yet?
Yes.
Did you beat all the star bases?
I beat everything.
Okay. Have you completed your Pokédex?
Why would I do that again?
Okay. We've been through this. If you read the box, it says, gotta catch 'em all.
But I've already done it.
Not in Scarlet.
I've caught the ones I wanted.
No, it doesn't say, gotta catch the ones you want. It says, gotta catch 'em all.
Well, if I caught just the new ones, then boom, I've caught them all.
All right. Let's take this from a different angle. You are a shiny hunter, are you not?
Yes.
Completing the Pokédex increases your odds of finding a shiny, does it not?
Sorta. I don't need it. They have sandwiches in this game.
But
sandwiches, beat it. I don't need to.
But
There's
if
no
you
point.
do both, then that ups your odds even more. They stack.
Yeah, but I like to make it a little bit more challenging.
No, because then you'll sit there and bitch that you've been playing 300 hours and all you found was one shiny Magikarp.
No, I spent like 150 hours hatching an egg with a shiny charm in the last game. I learned I don't need to do that. I can just make a sandwich, and I don't have to waste that much time doing something I already had a 1 out of 512.
Jordan ran around with sandwiches all day yesterday, and I don't think he found a single damn shiny.
Well, that's on him. I find one every like 10 minutes.
Well, he said he's got like 20 or 30 shinies.
He's just not finding the one he wants.
Yeah, he's not finding the one he wants.
He wants the lame ones.
I think he was looking for a Riolu.
That's actually a good one, but it looks like a pea color when it evolves. It's really weird.
Whatever.
It's what he wants.
So how many hours did it take for you to beat the game?
I don't know. I spent a lot of time not playing what I was supposed to do. I think it took me around 20, 22.
Yeah, I didn't. Once I got in and started playing, it didn't take me long to burn through it.
No.
I was really surprised, almost disappointed at the low level of difficulty the game provided.
Yeah, that's the one complaint, is that they didn't...
No, that's not the one complaint.
From me.
Oh, okay.
From me, okay?
Okay.
I wish it was a little more challenging. I wish the badges scaled, so you can do any of them at whatever badge you're at. Their Pokemon are that level around that badge. So I think that would have been nice. But honestly, it wasn't all that hard. But I did so much exploring, and the only reason I finished in the 20-hour mark is because everyone was ahead, and I felt like I had to catch up. Had Dylan and Jordan not been kind of speedrunning it, I don't think I'd be done by now.
Well, and that was me. I was doing kind of like you. I was running through the map looking for all the watchtowers and trying to hit all the Pokestops and open up all my fast travel points. Mm-hmm. But in doing so, I just kept finding more and more Pokemon. I kept leveling stuff up. I kept running, and I'd be like, oh, I'm out of town. Let me just go hit this gym real quick. And I found that my starter burned through most of the gyms by himself. I didn't really need a lot. Only when I got to the gyms where their type worked against my starter did I have to stop and go, oh, I need a different Pokemon. Okay, you go. But I mean, I was just running around exploring because that's what I do. Mm-hmm. And I just kept running into these bases and be like, screw it. And I'd just murk them. You know, what starter did you have?
I picked well, I'm going to call it the Fire Bird, but it starts off as a crocodile.
So you had the same starter I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those who don't know, the last form of the fire crocodile has like a little flaming bird on its head. I consider that the Pokemon, and it just has a crocodile. But the bird's the Pokemon. It makes it more fun for me.
That's where the crocodile gets the flame as he draws it from the bird?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Whatever it is, whether it's a crocodile or a bird, he kicked a lot of ass.
Yes.
He was overpowered almost for me.
Yeah, I think competitively, though, if you were like to go online and stuff, he might be the worst of the three for competitive. But story mode and for raids, he's number one.
Yeah, he was just burning through everything that I wanted to do.
Yeah, if you go do raids, he's got you. If you do the game, he's got you. You go into competitive, and you might want to.
Yeah, he's super strong, but he's slow.
That's where he gets hit.
Yeah, I could see that being a problem for him. But it was good. Now, there were a lot of other people online complaining about performance issues and crashes, so much to the point that they actually issued an official refund policy that if you went back to the people that made the game and complained about the performance issues, that they would refund you the money. Almost like Cyberpunk. It was Nintendo's version of Cyberpunk. But I didn't really see those problems, did you?
I had the game crash a couple times, but I also left it on for like several hours. So that's kind of why if you leave it on, it'll do that. And yeah, I did that.
I leave my games on for hours on end all the time, and I didn't experience anything with Pokemon that I didn't experience with any other game. I've had other games crash on me, just, software closed due to an unexpected error, and then I have to go in and restart the game, load my save up, and go. Mm-hmm. that's not uncommon for me. It doesn't happen like daily or anything like that, but I don't think I've hardly played a game on my Switch for any duration that I haven't had that happen at least once. But like you, I leave stuff on for long periods.
There's that. People were talking about the camera angles. Like, well, you can adjust it once it moves, so...
Yeah, but even then, I found like where the camera focused didn't always give me a good view.
Yeah, and then they were talking about how Pokemon were spawning inside of walls and objects, which I did see a lot.
Yeah, I saw that too. But I mean, that's not uncommon in games.
Yeah, I think you could play games and there's people walking backwards, but it looks like they're walking forward because it's like lagging out, really weird. People popping in and out of buildings. That's common.
I've had games where I was trying to fight people and only their torso was sticking out of the floor. I mean, one of the problems in EverQuest when we used to play that all the time is there would be mobs running and they would fall through like a mountain. Or I would run around a corner and they wouldn't path down the walkway to chase me. They would just run to the corner of the room like they were trying to do the fastest path to me. And there's a wall between us and they're still hitting me. We were flying, okay, because you can give yourself levitation.
Mm-hmm.
We were flying and we're getting hit by a shark under the water. So collision detection and things like that are issues in a lot of games. I think people were just very disappointed with Game Freak because it was not the Pokemon game that they expected. I mean, this was a big change for Pokemon.
Big change.
And you didn't have these problems on the DS.
No.
But you also didn't have this freedom on the DS either.
No, or the graphics, because it was just a little 2D sprite animations, top down.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think people were they were expecting more from it, I guess. I didn't have this problem on any of the old Pokemon. Y'all suck. Why'd y'all have to make a change? Because this is better. This is the evolution of games. You can't always stay in the 8-bit and the 16-bit world.
And if you notice with Nintendo's properties, Nintendo's always been the last one. Pokemon's always been the last one to upgrade. Like, Mario hit the new games first because it's Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Zelda hit the new ones first, and then Pokemon would wait like 2 more years, and they'd put their newer game, when the Switch came out, they put out a new game for the DS.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, we ain't touching that yet. We're not there yet.
Well, and I think a lot of that one was also, they had their engine stuff that they were trying to work through. They were making a major engine change.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a lot of development work, a lot of testing, a lot of designing that they had to redo because it was such a drastic change for them.
Yeah.
And they probably had getting stuff out for the DS down to a science because they'd been putting stuff out on the Game Boys and the DSs and the 3DSs for a long time. That was their platform.
Yeah, and they kind of took that away.
I mean, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
So the shift was coming. Whether anybody wanted to admit it or not, the shift was coming. They saw the writing on the wall. They took the steps to lean into it. And I thought Arceus was a good segue.
I don't know if Arceus was by Game Freak. I think it was.
I thought so.
Diamond and Pearl the new Diamond and Pearl were the ones that weren't
the
by
remasters.
Yeah, those weren't by Game Freak. And people didn't like that. They didn't like, I thought they were fine. I thought they were pretty accurate to the DS game. If you wanted something great out of it, no, they told you it was a remake of the DS game with minor upgrades.
Yeah.
I was happy. No one else was.
But it was a good game. What now? Did you ever catch your Charizard from the special raids?
Oh yeah. Fun fact. I never turned my DS back on to online mode, so I've had the Charizard raid since it stopped, and I've just been doing them daily.
So somebody said that they actually redid them this past weekend, like they reopened them.
They did.
I didn't know.
Yeah, if you don't go online, like if you go online right now, get it back, and then don't go online again,
it never goes away.
It never goes away.
That's funny. But you're only allowed to catch one Charizard, so if you do it once...
There's the item, the ability patch, that I've been trying to grind out. And that lets you get, if you give it to your Pokemon, it gives them their hidden ability. I only have 2. I've had 3, so it's really rare. It's a 1% drop rate.
Okay, yeah. Jordan said something about their secret ability, and I didn't know what he was referring to.
Pokemon usually have 1 or 2 abilities, and then they have a hidden ability, which you can only get out of raids or with the patch.
Yeah.
Grinding out Charizard, I have 3 of those patches. I used 1 on my starter just because out of respect for the starter.
Yeah.
And then I still have 2.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know, because he mentioned it, but we were talking about so much other stuff, I didn't think to go back and ask him what he was talking about. 'Cause I knew that they had the badges and stuff, but I didn't know.
Yeah, that's hidden ability stuff.
Okay. I'm not used to having to worry about stuff like that with my Pokemon.
It's for competitive mostly.
I don't do competitive, so we're good.
Yeah. I do it when Dylan wants to try and fight me. I'll go grab my competitive shinies that I made.
And just go jack him up.
Yeah, I did that in Sword and Shield, as I had a really fun rain team just for him. He'd pull out these legendaries that were hacked and all this. I'm like, okay, strats beat legends. Die.
Wow. Okay.
I think I swept. I think he only knocked out like 1 guy.
Wow. Now, they haven't said anything about what's on tap next for Pokemon, have they?
We know they have DLC coming for the game.
Yeah.
Probably going to be coming around like June, July. And then it looks like there may be 2 things of DLC like they did with the last game. Because there's you know how you got into Area 0?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you go into the main building again, there's blue stripes that lean over to the left. I haven't seen anyone post on YouTube or anything about it, but those blue stripes going over to the left, that looks like it could be something else. And then they have a whole region that's striped out that's part of another Pokemon region that we're thinking they're going to allow us access to like half of the region maybe, or the whole region. So now you have 2 regions that you can go get more badges and stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
They're thinking that they might allow that. We're not too sure. But there's also those stripes leading off in that main Area 0 building.
So current trend is we'll probably get 2 or 3 DLCs, maybe not a new Pokemon game for another 3 years or something.
Yeah.
Okay. I can deal with that.
We might get a Legends, not an Arceus, a Legends game between there.
I don't know that I'd want to do a Legends game again. I mean, it was an interesting game and I enjoyed it, but I don't know that I'd want to repeat it.
To me, it depends on which region they take us to. Because if they take us to, like, when we were in Gen 4, if they take us to Gen 3, which has the god of the sea, the god of the land, and the god of the sky, the protector of the skies, that one could get real crazy. Because one of them was, back in the past, one of them was trying to flood the earth because it was a water god. We want the ocean. And the other one's like, no, we want more earth. Screw you, stupid fish. And the fish is like, you're weak to me. Screw you. And then God of this guy said, hold up. This fight's going too far. Stop it. He'd fly down. He's Rayquaza, the dragon. No, we're not playing this game.
I'm not going to rule it off, rule it out and say I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to write it off. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know that I would want to do another game that was Legends with just different Pokemon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because let's be honest, I didn't do a lot of the different Pokemon versions. I didn't do Diamond and Pearl. I didn't do what are some of the other ones out there? Black and White. Yeah, Black and White.
Black and White 2.
Because
you did X and Y. You did the Megas.
Yeah, I did X and Y, and I did Red. But there wasn't a lot of difference between them. They would introduce some new Pokemon, but the play styles were largely the same. Yeah. Oh, you go down this route, you do these gyms, you get your bike, you do this, you collect your Pokemon. So once I played that play style 2 or 3 times, I didn't feel like doing it again. Yeah. So if they want to release another Arceus, they're going to have to change it. Not another Arceus, another Legends. Yeah. They're going to have to change it up a little bit,
See, we don't know if the next Legends could be in the future kind of thing. We did one in the past where we had to go do all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, now they're introducing future stuff. There could be a whole different mechanic, whole new thing for Legends in the future.
Yeah.
That could be a thing.
And if they do that, then I think I'd be more inclined to play.
Yeah.
But if it's the same play style with just, we got new maps and a couple of different Pokemon, I think I'll pass.
Well, If they do it in black and white, if the era, it's based in America. So in the past, I don't know how they're gonna do it. Are they gonna do cowboys? They gonna do cowboys and Indians? Just the Indians? I don't know. They're Japan. We don't know what them.
Vikings.
Vikings, yeah. Another thing about that is that one had 150 new Pokemon when it came out. So, and you haven't seen all the Pokemon from that era. So you're guaranteed to see at least 100 ones that you haven't seen before.
See, okay, that might encourage me to play.
Yeah. On top of that, the legends in that game were based off of the the Three Musketeers, their helper who became a Musketeer,
D'Artagnan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they had 3 dragons, and a black one and a white one that fused with one of them. Well, they might let them all 3 fuse back into its original form, and that's what I'd love to see if they do it. One big freaking dragon.
Okay. Like I said, I'm not going to write it off.
I think
I'll wait and see. Well, let's see what they actually deliver.
Yeah. This isn't an Arceus review.
Yeah, this isn't an Arceus
Legends.
review. It's not a Legends discussion because nothing's really been announced yet. This is all just
speculation.
Yeah.
Just what would have been really cool.
But enough about Pokemon. I mean, we both played it. We both beat it. We both had a good time. We both saw some of the issues, but didn't understand why everybody was bitching about it.
Great game. I would say it's one of the best. I think it's one of the best Pokemon games.
Because I think so many of the old Pokemon games are just reskins, I count them all as the same game. So, yes, this is by far one of the best new Pokemon games. It's not like, all the other Pokemon are like Porsches. Because if you look at the Porsche 911 over the last 40 years, it's the same car. Oh, well, we put a little different curve on this headlamp, or oh, we changed the back spoiler a little bit. It's the same damn car. I know you didn't pay anybody to design it. It's the same damn car. And that's kind of the way the old school Pokemon were for me. So yes, this is a radical redesign that took it in a bold, fresh, new direction, and I liked it. Enough about Pokemon. Let's get into the other one.
The one that needs more love.
Dragon Quest Treasures.
It needs more love. Dragon Quest Treasures needs love so that I can get my Dragon Quest monsters into the United States.
Now, this game has a little bit of a history. This is not the first Treasures game.
First Treasures game. But it's based off of the Dragon Quest Monsters series.
Oh, okay. And you played that one on what?
Nintendo DS.
Okay.
So I played Monster Joker. There was Monster series beforehand that was only in Japan. Then they came out with Monster Joker, which was go compete in tournaments, capture monsters, compete in the tournament, go out to this new area. And then there was Jokers 2, where you were dropped onto an island in a crash you were on a blimp. Blimps are cool. Anyways, you crashed onto an island, and your whole point is to defeat these giant monsters that take up 3 slots in your party, to beat them so that you can try and get off the island.
Okay. So when they announced Treasures, since this is the first Treasures game, what is it that made you go, oh shit, I need that?
Support for the, hey, it's a monster taming game. I like those. And if people buy it, I can get my Dragon Quest Monster Joker 3 into the United States, maybe, because it never came, and I wanted it. And if enough people support it, we might get another Treasures, and we might get Dragon Quest monsters over here. And if we do, that's what I want.
Because the Dragon Quest core series, the regular Dragon Quest RPG...
Yeah, that's people fighting monsters.
Yeah, but that one does pretty well. I mean, they bring those over pretty regular. I mean, we're up to what, Dragon Quest?
11.
11, yeah.
Yeah, it just took them, like, a little longer to drop 10 over in the United States. Like, I don't know, maybe a year or 2 before it came over to the States.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest 11 was a year before they came over to the States, I believe.
So, and they're not bad games, but I think they get overshadowed by other games like Final Fantasy.
Yeah, over here in the West, Final Fantasy is the thing. But over there in Japan, nah, it's Dragon Quest all the way over there.
Well, and one of the interesting things about some of these Dragon Quest games, and specifically Dragon Quest Treasures, is who did the character design and the artwork?
Oh, I almost said Eiichiro Oda. That's the guy who does One Piece.
No.
Akira Toriyama, the guy who does Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm. So if you're a Dragon Ball fan, these games are going to be right up your alley because they have a lot of very similar characteristics in the art style and stuff.
Go support Dragon Ball 2, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, buy Dragon Quest to support Dragon Ball.
Yes. That's all that matters. Just support it so that I get my games.
And I'll be honest, when you first started talking about Dragon Quest Treasures and how the game was, I wasn't interested. I didn't think I would like the game. You were like, oh, yeah, it's a treasures game. You go out and you hunt treasure and you do stuff, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, that just sounds kind of goofy, like a time waster. And I don't want to just have a time waster where I'm just doing repetitive crap all the time.
Yeah.
And when you first got it, you didn't get to play very much.
No.
You know, you were only picking it up like for a few minutes every couple of nights because you were working so many hours. So you were describing it to us because we were asking you in the group chat, you know, how's treasure? And you're like, well, I don't know. I've only done this, and you kind of do this. And I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of boring.
Everyone's trying to ask me questions when I haven't got to play the game.
But you brought it over here and showed it to me, and I watched you play for a few minutes, and I mean, it looked good. It looked like Dragon Quest. I mean, you could look at it and go, oh, there's my characters. These are my people. These are my monsters. Oh, look, it's got that in there. Oh, look, it's got that in there. Oh, look, it's got that in there. And I went and bought it. 2 days later, I've smashed the game.
I haven't even done that far.
My vault is 1.3 billion.
God.
Yeah, I am a level 14 platinum hunter.
I think I'm only like level 8.
I mean, I was sending you pictures. I mean, I had that one haul that was 50 million gold or something like that. I mean, it's ridiculous. So, yeah, I grabbed that game. I picked it up, and once I started playing, holy shit, I loved it. I loved it. I mean, I beat the game in 2 days. And to some people, that might sound like that's just a very short period of time, but it was 2 solid days of playing. You know, it wasn't like I played for 2 or 3 hours on one day and 4 or 5 hours on the other day, and I beat it in 8 hours. I mean, it took me, you know, probably 20 hours, 25 hours total to beat the story. But then there's post-game, so there's still a lot of post-game stuff to do.
Yeah, and Dragon Quest is known for its post-game final boss. It's like, oh, yeah, you can get to the final boss. You ain't gonna beat him.
Yeah, so I beat the story boss without too much trouble and thought, oh, well, that was way easier than I expected. So then I went into some of the post-game and started cleaning up some stuff, and I was like, you know what, let me go try this dude. Wiped the floor with me. I mean, I didn't last 60 seconds in that fight, and he had killed my entire party, and I was like, holy shit. So I've got some playing to do to get my stuff leveled up enough, because I'm gonna go back and beat that dude again.
Yeah, good luck.
Nah, I got this. I'm close. I think I'm close.
I'm just letting you know, in the last Dragon Quest game, my entire party is maxed out in levels. Dude can still, by turn 6 or so, I'm dead.
I know. Jordan and I talk about that a lot, because he had the same problem.
I learned a trick. Grind out certain things that boost stats. Give it all to Eric, all of it. And then you just heal him, and then he'll do like an attack that hits like 9 times, all crits, all max damage. And you do that like 5 times.
Yeah.
But if you screw up one time, it's over.
We'll see how it plays out, but I want to wrap it up. I am very close to 100%ing all of my quests.
Nice.
Yeah, so I've unlocked almost all of the flags for my base, all the banners. I've unlocked almost all of those. I've got almost all the monsters recruited at least once. I mean, I've been going through and recruiting stuff like crazy. All my stuff has leveled up. I've collected the majority of the treasures that are available in the game. Now, I still got some that I can improve their qualities. You know, like I can go from fair to good to great, whatever. So I can still do that. But in terms of completing all the quests and the challenges and beating the last game, I'm this close.
Good luck.
I'll get there. I'll probably have it done by Christmas.
You have fun with that.
I'm gonna.
I'm just have fun with it.
Okay.
Fine.
So what's next for Dragon Quest? Have you heard anything about it?
They're still uncertain, and they're not. We're over here in America. We'll never be certain for what we'll get.
We're the redheaded stepchild of Dragon Quest.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a shame. Now, there was an announcement for Akira Toriyama, something called Sandland.
First time I'm hearing of it.
It looks like it's going to be a new movie based on like a desert world kind of thing. It almost reminded me of the movie Dune. Big sandworms chasing people across the desert and
Yeah.
stuff. It looked interesting. There's not a lot of details about it yet, but since we talked about him and the art style and stuff,
And it's done by Akira Toriyama?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, because when it first came out and they teased it on Instagram, Jordan and I were hoping they were going to drop some new Dragon Ball, some new Dragon Ball game, some new Dragon Ball movie, something Dragon Ball related. But nope, something brand new called Sandland. I don't know. We'll have to keep our eyes on that one and see what they say. Let's take a break on video games, though, for a minute.
Yeah, we do have one last bit of news that you might have heard about, but we kind of have to let it out there before we close out.
Yeah, this is kind of a big one too. I mean, it's been talked about a lot, so I'm sure most people have heard about it, but everybody is probably aware by now of the news that a couple of months ago, Warner Brothers Discovery, who owns the DC licenses, brought in James Gunn, the man behind Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and was it Suicide Squad?
Suicide Squad, the second reboot.
The second Suicide Squad, yeah. They brought him in to kind of head up the DCEU, kind of like Kevin Feige or whatever his name is does for Marvel, and he's got some other guy, Peter Seraphine. Yeah, so they're kind of running the show now for DC, and since they've joined that group, it's been turmoil over there, I think is probably the best way to describe it. Black Adam dropped in October, November.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
They teased Henry Cavill's return as Superman at the end of that movie. Spoiler alert.
Doesn't matter.
And then they made the big announcement that Henry Cavill was leaving Witcher to return as Superman, which threw everybody into another tizzy. Mm-hmm. But now Henry Cavill's out as Superman because they've decided that James Gunn and the powers that be have said we're gonna start over from scratch. We're trashing the DCEU in its current form, and we're starting over. So Superman's dead, Black Adam's dead, Wonder Woman's dead, Batman's dead, the Suicide Squad's dead, Aquaman's dead, Peacekeeper's dead. All that stuff that they had started to build, done. So Gal Gadot's out, Henry Cavill's out. The Flash was already done anyway, but that was his own doing. But yeah, I mean, all that stuff's dead.
Yeah, so all of that's going on. Henry Cavill's now doing Warhammer for Amazon.
Which, when that offer came through, he joygasmed in his pants.
Yeah, he was all over it. He said, I want to make this as good as it can be for Warhammer fans, because I, too, am a Warhammer fan.
He was a fan of The Witcher, and he pushed really hard for The Witcher to stay true to content, which was what pissed off a lot of the writers. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to Warhammer, I think he's going to have a Ryan Reynolds level of obsession and of determination. Because Ryan Reynolds, he really drove the Deadpool to be Deadpool. He's paid money out of his own pocket for the B. Arthur references. He really pushed for certain aspects of the character, certain aspects of the story.
He was like, yo, it's going to be Deadpool because that's what people want, and it is going to be exactly what they expect.
Yes.
And well, we weren't expecting it to be exactly what we should have gotten. That's just a surprise. Like, holy crap, this is Deadpool.
Yes. And I think Henry will have the same level of focus with Warhammer because he is a massive Warhammer fan.
Yeah, so get ready to see orcs wearing the color purple, and now they're invisible because they believe it. That's my favorite thing about it.
Yeah, it's the way magic works.
Yeah.
Just believe it to be true.
They don't know that's how it works, but yeah, it's how it works. They can breathe in space because they believe it.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. There haven't been a lot of details about that, though.
No, just that I think he put it out on Instagram saying, yo, this is what's going on. I'm doing it. Love this. You guys are going to love it, too. I'll make sure of it.
Now, the one thing about it that we do know is that it's on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
It's going to be an Amazon show.
Yes.
Which, I'll be honest, after Rings of Power, they need a big win because I think everybody was really disappointed in Rings of Power.
Oh, yeah.
I still haven't got to watch it.
Don't. If you
No, I'm gonna watch it.
I say respect your series and don't, and pretend it doesn't exist.
You have to understand their failures to be able to truly understand and appreciate their successes.
I thought that's what The Hobbit 2 was for.
Yeah, we're just gonna let that one go.
Isn't that the one that nobody liked?
You mean The Hobbit?
Yeah, the second one. Wasn't there a second one?
Well, so they did the Lord of the Rings trilogy because
Yes.
there was the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, and then
books.
they had The Hobbit.
Well, The Hobbit was one book, but it was a monster book, so they broke it down into multiple movies.
Yeah, didn't the second parts of the movie people didn't like?
In general, the Hobbit movies didn't do as well.
Then you should really appreciate the Lord of the Ring movies. You don't need to watch what they put on Amazon.
It seemed like everybody was way more interested in the story of a bunch of hobbits doing stuff with a dwarf, whereas the Hobbit was a bunch of dwarfs doing stuff with a hobbit.
What's the difference?
Yeah. I mean, it's you're really splitting hairs on that one, but yeah, I don't think that one did near as well.
See, then you don't need to watch Ring of Power.
No, I do, because I need to watch it. I need to know what they did with it. I'm gonna watch She-Hulk too. I know.
Not answering.
I know that blank stare of disbelief. I get it. There's a lot of people that talk about She-Hulk and how nobody needs to watch it and it was a train wreck, but I'm gonna watch it. Some of their shows were really good. I want to see where they failed on this one. I want to understand what they did wrong.
It's called what's it called? Mary Sue. It's called Mary Sue. That's what it is.
Let me watch it and we'll see. You know, because I can't sit here in good faith and trash the DC movies having never watched them. I can't say, oh, the DC movies suck. They're this, just because that's what I read online.
No, yeah, that's true.
I want to read it. I want to see it. I want to experience it for myself so that I can say, you know, I think it gets a lot of hate from people that are fanboys of Marvel. I think it gets a lot of hate for people that are expecting too much from a comic book movie. Or, yeah, that's absolute garbage. I agree. Yeah, I want to form my own opinions, not be a parrot for other people.
That's true. I could do that. I've just seen too many clips that I was just, no, this looks like cringe. I could watch. It may just be those scenes, but if you can make me cringe from multiple different scenes from different episodes, I don't think I want to watch it.
But if I go and I look back at the original Hulk movie with Eric Bana, I can take out clips of scenes that just have horrible CGI in them and give you a highlight reel of all the horrible CGI and tell you this is what the whole film looks like, and you're not going to know any better unless you watch.
That's true.
But if I'm a marketing person and I'm trying to get people to go to the theaters, I'm going to make highlight reels of all the best scenes.
Yeah. I've seen the last episode of She-Hulk, like the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what really sets me off of, I'm not watching that.
I heard the last episode was really weird and really
It was basically, the writers did it. It's all their fault. Yeah, we know the show is bad. And it's like, if you knew that, why'd you do it?
They just gave up on it.
Yeah, that's what she came out and said. It's like, well, it's a callback to a thing in the comic book, because that actually did happen in the comic book. She-Hulk did come out of the comic, broke the fourth wall, said that. And it's like, you wouldn't have to make that comic reference ever if you actually,
Maybe they
good.
thought that it would just be funny to do that.
No.
It just didn't come across that way or something.
Like that. It honestly came off as a, haha, yeah, it's on purpose.
Yeah, we wrote it poorly on purpose just for this scene.
We did it for the comic. Yeah, we look how good we were to the comic. No, you were never faithful to the comics really to begin with. Why are you going to do it now?
Yeah, so we'll see. I'll form my own opinion.
Yeah.
But because there's been so much hate on those shows, they're on my low priority list.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of the DC things, they're talking about the guy who plays Aquaman, Jason Momoa, being Lobo. Y'all don't know who Lobo is. Take the mask, give him to Deadpool, give him a motorcycle, throw him out in space, and give him crack. He's considered the strongest thing in DC's universe, easily able to beat the crap out of Superman. Easily. Like, he's one of the only people to actually just hurt Superman by punching him. No weapons, nothing else. But he's funny, and he does not give a shit about anything.
So they've made that announcement, but they haven't set any kind of a schedule or timeline.
No. Jason Momoa's in the thought of them doing, he's still a DC, everybody loves him, he could do Lobo.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I know there was some controversy over the cancellation of Wonder Woman 3. Because there was a report that said Wonder Woman 3 was being canceled because the director, Patty Jenkins, walked off set and refused to make the movie or something like that. Patty Jenkins came out and said, no, that was never the case. I don't know who started that rumor, but Wonder Woman 3 was canceled because we're going in a new direction. So I'm going back over here to do Star Wars. And even James Gunn came out and said all of our conversations with Patty have been, professional and respectful and polite, and she's never done anything like that. It's just, hey, things are changing and we're making some changes to our lineup. That's it.
They're honestly getting younger casts so they can do what what Marvel did. It's like, hell, these people are getting kind of old. You can't really build a series off of them.
Yeah.
Gal Gadot's in her, 40s, 50s?
Oh, no, Gal Gadot's
I don't know.
maybe in her 30s.
I thought she was 42.
No,
and I was like, she does look, people young enough now could be in their 50s be a celebrity and still look like they're in their mid-30s, early 40s.
Gal Gadot's young.
I don't know. Ben Affleck's old as fuck.
Well, yeah.
Henry Cavill's in his late 30s.
Yeah, Gal Gadot was born in 85.
Okay, good.
So that puts her... Okay, she's in her mid-30s.
Okay. With people in the celebrities, you could be in your 40s and still look 30s. In 50s, you can look
look
30s.
at Ryan Reynolds. He's my age.
Yeah, he's older than you, actually.
A little bit. I'm not maybe a year.
See, just saying, celebrities look younger than they are, so I don't know.
Sometimes. Not all the time.
Not all the time, no.
Gary Busey looks like he's about 80. Well, he might be 80 now, so maybe he looks like he's 180. But he had a rough life.
Tobey Maguire is the same age as Willem Dafoe was when their movie started.
So
40s. So remember that. We just saw Tobey Maguire in the Spider-Man movie, and when we last saw him as Spider-Man,
he didn't look much different.
Exactly. And now he's the same age as Willem Dafoe was in his Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
So when it comes to age, I don't know with these people.
No, it's hard to tell sometimes. I'll give you that. But yeah, I can see them wanting to go for a younger cast. And there were a lot of people in the DCEU that were bad cast. I still won't get over Lex Luthor in the Batman. Justice League.
I think he would have been a great Riddler, honestly.
He could have been a better Riddler than a Lex Luthor, yeah.
I think he would have been a great Riddler.
He could have been. He's kind of one of those, he could either be really great or he could just go off the wall and be out there going over the top and ruin it.
Yeah.
And that was part of the reason that nobody liked him as Lex Luthor, is because he was over the top.
Another thing about Lex Luthor, though, is he's supposed to be this big hulking guy who puts on the suit to fight. He's not hulking, but he's well built in the comic books.
But I think they took this from the direction of, this was Junior. Almost, yeah, okay, we're not going to try and reset Lex Luthor from the 80s, the 70s and 80s. That was Gene Hackman. So, because he talked about inheriting the company. Yeah. When his father died, he did this, All
right.
So that it almost seemed like they were taking it from a Junior perspective.
All right. That could have been interesting.
But even still,
he was.
Lex Luthor was insane because of some of the stupid shit he wanted to do, like let's blow up the fault line and sink California to make new coast. Weird shit like that. Let's.
I don't know. I support that.
But he had some weird ideas, but he was also super smart, strategic, conniving.
Became president just to fuck with Superman.
Yeah. And that version of Lex Luthor never came across that way. Yeah, he did some sneaky stuff by by sending the little things out for Superman and Batman, kind of baiting them. Mm-hmm. But he never really showed his true Lex Luthor genius.
Yeah.
And then his character was just
in your face all the time.
He always came across more as a spaz.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah, and I just didn't appreciate that. So yeah, DC is a lot of wait and see because they haven't given us any kind of a new lineup, new expectations.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm morbidly curious to see what train wreck they might unveil next. And I'm going to phrase it that way because they have rebooted DC once already.
Yeah.
And they just rebooted it with the same shit. I'm not optimistic. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're going to have to prove to me this isn't the same shit in a new wrapper.
We can expect one good thing out of it, though. Can you guess?
What?
Soundtrack.
Yeah, James Gunn does do good with soundtracks, so we should be looking for some awesome music coming up out of these movies. But he's not directing these movies.
Oh, yeah.
He's just going to be the head honcho kind of pulling the strings.
Yeah.
But he could definitely say, every movie needs a solid soundtrack theme, you know.
Don't you dare screw this up. It is what I am known for.
Yeah. Yeah, don't make me look like the asshole here.
Let's see, that's also the only, besides the beginning of the original Suicide Squad, that was the only reason it did really good, is people loved its soundtrack.
Yeah, its soundtrack wasn't bad.
It had something for everybody on it.
Yeah, it had a little bit of something for everybody. But the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, universally loved.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, just about every song on there, everybody liked. They were classics. And the thing about the Suicide Squad soundtrack is it had a little something for everyone on there, but that meant that there was a little something that most people didn't like, so you would skip.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, the Guardians of the Galaxies, they were just all great classic songs.
I don't got any other news. Ash Ketchum's no longer the star series of Pokemon, starting next year.
Yeah, they are retiring Ash.
He achieved his dream.
Yeah, they made him officially a champion.
And a master.
A master Pokemon trainer. They had a big thing in Japan for it. You know, they played it up on this big screen, had this big celebration. Yeah, they really get into their characters over there.
Oh yeah. It's well deserved because it's been like what, almost 30 years.
Yeah, he's been working on this goal for 30 years. Congrats to you, Ash. Ash Ketchum, isn't it?
In America, yeah.
Oh, what is it in Japan?
Satoshi. That's his name. Remember, this is the 90s. Had to Americanize the names.
Yep.
Remember the 90s.
Good job, Ash Ketchum Satoshi. May you and Pikachu have a wonderful retirement together.
Well, they're not fully retired yet. They have an 11-episode special coming in like February, January, somewhere around there. And then after that, it's the
but he's already filmed it.
Yeah, he's already filmed it. He's already done.
Yeah, it's all post-production. He's done.
Yeah,
he's living the high life.
There's only a few questions we need to know from it. Who's his dad? Is this all a dream? Is the Pokemon universe real?
Who's the girl that was always running around with him?
He's had like 6.
Oh.
Yeah, like there's only one that lasted 2 different series.
Yeah.
That was Misty. That's the one you're
Yeah.
But after that, he got a new one every season. And
Damn.
at one point, Brock left him, and he got like another male companion every season after Brock. So he'd travel around with new people.
So Ash is a player.
Yes.
Wow, he wasn't catching the people then. He was just catching the Pokemon?
You mean the other way around? He wasn't catching the Pokemon. He was going around catching people.
No, he wasn't catching the people.
Oh.
He was letting them go.
Yeah.
He was hanging on to the Pokemon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure how you were trying to phrase that.
Oh, no. No, as far as people goes, it was catch and release.
Yes.
Yeah, screw that. Yeah, y'all don't fit in a ball and y'all talk back. God, go away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I can get behind that too. Good job, Ash. But the other thing I wanted to talk about, partly because of the shirt you're wearing.
Yes.
One Piece. I know it's a favorite topic of yours. No, I still have not watched 1,000 episodes.
Should.
No. But have you heard any updates on the movies, the TV shows, or anything like that for it?
I know how Sanji's going to be in the TV show. They dial him back a bit because they don't want, people talking mad shit about how Sanji is like a simp and all about the females and all that. They're like, we don't want that backlash from the woke people. Well, he's still going to be into women. He's still going to respect women. But, like, we're going to dial that back, like, 4 notches.
They're not going on full-on Master Roshi with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they were like, we're going to get in trouble if we do it how he actually is. No, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I do know that.
Have you heard any updates on when any of that stuff releases?
Not yet. I haven't looked too far into it. mostly don't care about the live action. Like, I'm gonna watch it when it happens, but at the same time, I'm not expecting anything great.
But that's the one I'm most interested in, actually.
I know, because you're like, hey, let's see how they're gonna do it. And I'm more like, I don't know. Cowboy Bebop was both good and bad, so I don't know.
Cowboy Bebop suffered mostly because of writing. Because I think they just did Vicious dirty with their writing.
Yes.
And...
well, they tried to give him a character, because he didn't really have one.
No, Vicious didn't have a character, and they tried to make him too much of a focal point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they didn't explore, all of the other aspects of the show. They didn't get into Ein. They didn't get into Ed. They didn't get into...
Spike. They didn't get into...
no, they got into Spike.
No, they did, but, like, they got into him different. The cop.
No, they got into him a little bit, too. The
Valentine?
girl. Val. Yeah.
Oh, I thought
Faye.
You said Valentine's.
No,
What
Faye.
are you missing?
No, Ein. They didn't get into Ein. They
Oh.
didn't get into Ed. They didn't get into Faye. We never got to see BT. So there were so many different aspects of the anime that they could have explored, and just left Vicious as this mystery antagonist in the background that was always popping up to thwart plans or to...
yeah, he could have just been like the shadow figure that's been paying people to do things and stuff like that, kind of like he sort of was.
Yeah, or just, it was Spike's underlying motivation, but in order to do things and to figure out what was going on,
he was asking all those questions and stuff in the background.
Yeah, and they tried to jump too forward into the conflict between him and Vicious too much, and to make it a focal point for a character that didn't really exist at the depth that needed to.
Mm-hmm.
Cowboy Bebop is Spike's story. Not Vicious's story. Not Spike and Vicious's story. It's Spike's story. And Spike's story has all of these other facets that lead him into all of these other people, like Ein, Ed, Faye, BT, all of that stuff. And then you circle off on them for little side stories as you develop their characters, and then you have Vicious in the background. They didn't want to do it that way. They wanted to go Inspector Gadget with it, where it was Gadget versus Claw, head to head from the word go, and that was the only plot point for the entire series.
Yeah, that's it.
But okay, so circling back to One Piece, I got off on my Cowboy Bebop tangent. Sorry. In January, there's a One Piece game coming out.
Yes.
That looks really good.
Yes.
It's a JRPG One Piece.
Yes.
PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5.
Yes. I'm getting it.
I have decided I am getting it too.
You are going to play it before me. I want you to know that.
Probably.
Well, I have to finish my Fire Emblem. I will prioritize my Fire Emblem over the One Piece video game.
Well, I'm getting Fire Emblem as well.
Yeah.
But they come out around the same time.
Exactly. I am playing my Fire Emblem first. I love One Piece. I already know all the story beats in One Piece. I can push that over to the side for a little bit. That's fine. I just want the game because it looks nice and it's One Piece, and I will play it.
The trailers on it I've seen looked like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. You're in this place, and it keeps... in order to leave, you got to go through your memories, sort of, and go through the story beats that you've been through in the anime. Mm-hmm. So there's a desert island and shit from one of the very first big plots they did. And there's another one where they're on a tropical island with toys, and there's a haunted island. We don't know everything, but you're going through all of the big story beats that they remember, because you're kind of in the memories because of where this place you started at. That's the part I want to do.
Yeah.
I can't wait to play with Zoro, Robin, and Luffy, because those are my three favorite characters. Zoro because he's the coolest, Luffy because he's the main, and Robin because she's the smartest and also kind of the funniest one. She comes off as kind of bland, but in the comic and in the manga, she kind of, whenever someone says something silly or stupid, she kind of has like a thought bubble that's very childish, and I love that. Or she'll take things too seriously.
So quick tangent.
Yeah.
Talking about funny stuff in games. High on Life. The game done by the Rick and Morty people. Mm-hmm. Xbox only. or
Yeah.
Windows. You can play it on PC, Steam, but Xbox only for console. Looks freaking hilarious. Looks like it would be a lot of fun. Xbox only.
I'm not buying an Xbox.
I didn't look to see if it's on my Xbox. I don't have the new Xbox. I've got last gen's Xbox because I don't play Xbox that much. I haven't upgraded that one yet.
I don't have Xbox. Dylan has the Xbox, and I like to, shit on him. But and I've done it so much that if I got it, he wins.
One of the reasons why I have so many consoles is because when they do exclusive shit like this, I don't like being left off of the games I want to play.
You're true.
But it's gotten to the point where I don't want to buy 15 consoles anymore.
That's me. I have my exclusive. I have my games. I'm going to play what I got. I don't care if it's on another system. That's not what I got then. Oh, well. That doesn't exist to me anymore.
I know. It irks me that they do stuff like that. And I understand why they do it. And that's the whole Microsoft buying the people behind Call of Duty. It's got everybody in an uproar. Going, oh, they're going to create a monopoly. They're going to freeze out the other consoles because they're not going to release these top tier games on anything other than Microsoft now. That gives them an unfair advantage, blah, 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 blah. Microsoft came out and said, well, if you let this deal go through, we'll commit to putting Call of Duty on multiple platforms for the next 10 years, just in time for the next generation to roll around.
Yeah.
At which point Microsoft will be like, now we own this. Don't buy the PlayStation 6, buy the Microsoft whatever we call it.
Buy the Xbox. I don't know. We'll give it $69 just because we know that'll get sales. Yeah.
Who knows? So I'm curious to see how that goes. But, that's just a little side tangent. But, yeah. So the One Piece game drops in early to mid-January. What is Fire Emblem's drop date? Do you remember?
No.
I have mine reserved, but I don't remember what the day is.
I have mine already reserved and paid off, but I don't remember the day.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I think that's enough for today.
Yeah.
All right.
Just one long end of the road thing.
Yeah. One last run for the year. Like I said, this will be it for 2022. We'll be back early February, hopefully for 2023. We're gonna look at changing a few things up.
Yeah.
So. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Festivus for the rest of us.
Don't be racist, say Kwanzaa.
Oh, yep, man. Happy Kwanzaa, Eo Saturnalia, whatever else you celebrate, enjoy. And we will see you in 2023.
If we survive.
Well, that kind of really ruins the sign-off. Oh, if we survive. That's fantastic. No.
I plan on blowing up the moon.
What? Who are you?
I'm tired. I just want to blow it up.
Oy vey.
Some dude just keeps trying to steal it with his minions. Can't steal it if it's not there. Some kid keeps turning into a monkey. I've decided to blow it up. Hopefully we survive. That's fantastic.
That's horrible.
How is it horrible? I'm saving lives, hopefully.
But you're denying that poor young boy his ability to be a monkey.
This part of it's going to be cut out of the video anyways.
No.
Oh. I'm going to do it. That's my goal in life. I want to blow up the moon. I watched my
you
heroes
have
do
not
it on TV.
gone to evil doctor school yet.
I learned you don't need to go to school. None of them actually did. They just got it online.
Dr. Evil did. He did not spend 8 years at evil doctor school to be called Mr. He was very clear about that.
But everyone else got theirs online.
Okay, and look at how successful they've been.
Look how successful Dr. Evil's been.
He's been more successful than everybody else. He successfully captured a nuke and held the world ransom.
And then he failed.
I didn't say he succeeded. I just said he's been closer than most of the others.
You know who did succeed? Who didn't go have a doctorate?
Who?
Darth Vader.
No, he
blew up the planet. That's bigger than a moon. My goal is just a moon.
Yeah, I don't have to come back for that one.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's fantastic.
That's fantastic.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Nerd Shit. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/LordBradBrad to see when new episodes drop. Or you can find our channel on YouTube. Just search Lord Brad and look for our logo. You can listen to all of your favorite episodes of Nerd Shit directly from our website, www.lordbradbrad.com, where you can also learn a little bit more about us and the products we use and reference on the show. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to donate to the show, we gladly accept donations at coffee.com/LordBradBrad. That's coffee, spelled ko-fi.com/LordBradBrad. Or you can just click the link at the bottom of our website. If you have any comments on anything discussed in this episode, or would like to suggest a topic you would like to hear us talk about in a future episode, hit us up on our Facebook page. Again, that's facebook.com/LordBradBrad. Until next time, this is Reoric signing off and telling you to keep doing that nerd shit because you know we will.